You're not burned out. You're running from who you could be. That truth might hit hard. It might make you want to push back. You might say you're tired, stressed, worn down, or overwhelmed. And yes, you feel all of those things. But feeling tired is not the same as being burned out. Burnout is what happens when you give everything you have for too long with no control. What you are feeling right now is different. What you are feeling is resistance. Resistance to growth. Resistance to change. Resistance to the next version of yourself. Right now you feel stuck. You wake up tired even after sleeping. You feel drained before the day even starts. You scroll, you distract yourself, you avoid the hard things. You tell yourself you need rest, but no amount of rest seems to fix it. The more you slow down, the heavier everything feels. That's because you're not tired from doing too much. You're tired from not doing what you know you should be doing. Deep down, you know there's more in you. You know you are capable of more focus, more effort, more discipline, more growth. And instead of stepping into that version of yourself, you keep backing away from it. That inner conflict is exhausting. Running from your potential takes more energy than chasing it. You feel burned out because every day you ignore what you could be. You create tension inside yourself. One part of you wants comfort. Another part of you wants progress. One part wants to stay safe. Another part wants to grow. And they are pulling you in opposite directions. That pull is draining. You're not burned out from life. You're burned out from avoiding your own standards. There was a time when you wanted more. You had goals. You had drive. You had ideas about who you could become. You felt excitement thinking about the future. But somewhere along the way, that excitement turned into pressure. The dream started to feel heavy. The work started to feel scary. So you slowed down. You settled. You told yourself you were fine where you were. But you never really believed that. That's why you feel restless. That's why you feel bored even when you're busy. That's why small tasks feel harder than they should. You are not aligned with the person you know you could be. When you run from growth, your mind tries to protect you. It says you're tired. It says you've done enough. It says you deserve a break. But what it really means is, don't change, don't risk, don't step forward. That voice is not trying to help you become better. It's trying to keep you comfortable. Comfort can feel like rest, but comfort over time becomes a cage. You feel burned out because comfort without purpose is draining. Doing things that don't challenge you drains you. Living below your ability drains you. Ignoring your potential drains you. You don't need another break. You need direction. Think about the days when you feel most alive. Not the easiest days, the meaningful ones. The days when you worked hard on something that mattered. The days when you pushed yourself. The days when you were tired but proud. Those days gave you energy, not took it away. Real burnout does not come from effort. It comes from effort without meaning. Right now, you are spending energy avoiding discomfort instead of using energy to build something. That creates guilt. And guilt turns into exhaustion. You know what you've been avoiding. The hard conversation, the daily routine, the uncomfortable habit, the discipline you keep delaying. Every time you avoid it, you tell yourself a story. I'll do it later. I'm not ready. I just need to recharge. But later keeps moving. Ready never comes. And recharging without action turns into numbness. You are not burned out. You are disconnected from your purpose. Your body feels heavy because your mind knows you're playing small. Your spirit feels tired because it wants to grow, but you keep holding it back. That internal fight is exhausting. This is the stage where many people give up on themselves quietly. They don't fail loudly, they just drift. They lower their expectations. They shrink their goals. They tell themselves they're being realistic. But deep down, they know they are hiding. Hiding from responsibility. Hiding from effort. Hiding from the version of themselves that would require more discipline. You are not lazy. You are scared of who you might become if you actually try. Because if you try and fail, it will hurt. And if you try and succeed, your life will have to change. Change is uncomfortable. Growth demands consistency. Discipline removes excuses. And part of you does not want to give those things up. So instead, you feel burned out. Burnout sounds acceptable. It sounds understandable. It sounds like something that happened to you, not something you chose. But the truth is harder and more powerful. You are running. running from responsibility for your own potential. Every time you avoid the work, the weight does not disappear. It just moves inside you. It turns into frustration. It turns into boredom. It turns into self-doubt. That is the tiredness you feel. You feel drained because you are not using your energy where it matters. You were not meant to live on pause. You were not meant to drift through days just getting by. You were not meant to silence the part of you that wants more. That part of you is not wrong. It is calling you forward. Burnout makes you want to stop. Growth makes you want to hide. Right now, hiding feels easier than stepping up. But easy now becomes painful later. If you keep avoiding who you could be, the tiredness will turn into regret. The boredom will turn into bitterness. The fear will turn into self-blame. But if you face it now, something changes. The moment you stop running, energy starts to return. Not because life gets easier, but because your effort finally has direction. When your actions match your values, your strength comes back. You don't need to overhaul your life today. You don't need to fix everything at once. You just need to stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you're burned out when you're really unchallenged. Stop saying you need rest when you really need structure. Stop saying you're overwhelmed when you're actually avoiding growth. The version of you that you are running from is not a threat. It is the solution. That version of you is more disciplined, more focused, more honest, more consistent. And yes, that version of you works harder. But that version also sleeps better, feels clearer, feels proud, feels alive. You don't feel burned out when you are moving towards something you believe in. You feel burned out when your days have no direction. Right now, you are spending your energy fighting yourself. That is the most exhausting battle there is. Imagine what would happen if you used that same energy to build, to train, to focus, to show up every day even when it's uncomfortable. Discipline does not drain you. Indecision does. Clarity gives energy. Avoidance steals it. You are not too tired to grow. You are tired of pretending you don't want to. The truth is, you are closer than you think. The discomfort you feel is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are near the edge of change. Growth always feels heavy right before it feels freeing. That weight you feel in your chest, that is unused potential. That frustration in your mind, that is your future knocking. You can keep running. You can keep numbing yourself. You can keep calling it burnout. Or you can turn around. Turn around and face the work. Face the discipline. Face the version of yourself you've been avoiding. It will be uncomfortable. It will demand effort. It will force you to grow, but it will give you your energy back. Because you were never burned out. You were just running from who you could be. And the moment you stop running, you start becoming.